From cribs to carriers to bottles, blankets, and bibs, the multi-billion-dollar market for new and expectant parents offers an overwhelming array of products. Enter Giggle, a specialty retailer helping new moms and dads make smarter choices with its innovative approach to the baby gear biz. I'm Cris Valerio. Welcome to Venture, your inside look at what it takes to succeed in business. This week on Venture, we talk to Allie Wing about putting the giggle back into parenting with her one-stop shop for everything baby-related. Define what Giggle is to our audience.
Giggle is an edited destination for new parents to make the transition from not being parents to parenthood that much easier.
Specifically, to be fair, a much higher-end retailer for that type of product, given the demographic change, right?
It's better specialty. Now, I always caution on this to say, listen, there is in our market boutiques, which are often luxury, or there's very mass price and discount and selection. We're specialty. We're not just luxury, meaning that I will carry, if the Graco Snug Ride, which is the best value car seat, it's also sold at a Costco or a Target, it will still be at Giggle and it will still be the same price. Because we will have a good, better, best in every price that we've curated for the products that a parent needs. So we don't pick your price. We're going to give you a good value option where you want to spend within your lifestyle choices for transitioning to parenthood. Now, we will carry product categories and prices that you will never find in those other channels. But if a best value product is a crossover product to a mass, it doesn't mean it's not going to be in Giggle and it's going to be the same price. And that's a really important part of what defines good specialty, which it will have crossover products rather than a luxury business. And we don't really have an aspiration to be luxury. Our parents, even though they're more urban, they're older, they're educated, are still looking for value. Parenting's expensive, you know, and we're
I think it was $40,000 for the first 2 years of a kid's life if you make a combined income of more than about $98,000.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's very expensive. It's very expensive, and you can do it smarter with less. The reality is that I have to build a business that is able to sustain and profitable with the notion that I will always graduate my customer. You're not going to sit with me for 40 years. My job done well, I matriculate you. You know, we've got our incoming class, first-time parents. Absolutely. Nobody's going to spend the same or need the same resources that they needed for child number 1 with child 2 or 3. There's a certain annuity, we call it kind of our alumni benefits that go on there, maybe continuing education that happens for additional children. But it's really helping them transition to a home that was one typically dinks, dual income, no kids, to a home that's a family. And in that is a whole bunch of changes from products to content to services to education. The whole point isn't that we sell you everything. You're not going to see 40 car seats with a $20 price difference. If you need ultimately 3 car seats for each kid, an infant, a booster, and a toddler, we will have researched the market based on lifestyle choices and said there's really 3 things that matter the most for an infant car seat, and we've picked the best for each of those consumers. So there's 3 choices there. In toddler, we've done the same thing. In booster, we've done the same thing. So maybe you'll see 6 to 9 choices there. And they're edited, and we make clear how we pick them and who they're right for. So you walk into a Giggle. I always tell somebody who works in my store, if somebody walks in and says, what's your best stroller? And I hear somebody answer with a stroller name, they're in a lot of trouble. Because everything we sell is a best for a different consumer. Our job done well is to allow you to come in and tell us who you are, for us to consultatively educate you to get you to your best choice to fit your lifestyle. The reality of the juvenile industry history to date has been that we tend to do what our friends did, what our moms did. If you look at somebody like me, okay, I live in a high-rise, I'm an older first-time parent, I have an only child, and I'm a working mother. My best friend in the world is a blonde-haired, blue-eyed woman, 5 inches taller than me, who has 3 kids and lives in a beach town in California. The product choices that we need to be effective parents and enable our lifestyles have virtually nothing in common. One of the things that I had found when I dug into the market research is there was an enormous amount of trial and error purchasing and wasted purchasing in the juvenile industry because you really learn as you go. And our job is to make it more effective for you to get into the right things quicker and, again, reside at a trusted resource, which is what our environment should provide.
I want to talk a little bit about the business now because we talked about how you kind of funded it and how you got it kicked off. There are so many retailers, especially in New York, right, that cater to the mother, parents. You know, you look at Brooklyn and Park Slope, and you know, there's so many fun stories of this type of demographic, this audience. Why did you think you could be any different? Why would they trust you?
If it was about me, it would be called Allie's Baby. It's Giggle. And I'm building a brand equity that's way bigger than me. And it's based on market research with an incredible transparency to the consumer about how we do the edit. So when we say it's an edited best of, we're talking about the experts that we have reviewing products, the market research we're doing with consumers, and the public reviews that we're making available to everybody.
What's your relationship with vendors? How do they try to get you? Do they try to sell you? They know your metrics because it's transparent. How do you manage those relationships?
When we go out to the trade shows today where the manufacturers are selling, where a lot of people will put up in their trade show booth a Giggle pick. The reality is that manufacturers today, and I work very closely with all of them, and I want nothing more than them to keep producing great products. The reality is their world of selling is difficult when it's just a slew of products in uneducated selling environments. Especially,
it's hard for them to maintain brand integrity.
Absolutely, and especially hard for them to introduce new complexity. So innovation and technology is very difficult to introduce in those environments. So we become the perfect forum for taking the market to new frontiers, whether that's technology. This year we introduced a roboticized bouncy chair that mimics the human movement, and taking a lot of new technology into juvenile products, just like you're seeing across every other consumer category.
Up next, how a marketing job at Nike gave birth to the idea for Giggle.